Hello, welcome to the Learning Curve. I'm Marjorie Began. Usually when people think of a college education, they think of a four-year college. However, more and more young people and adults are discovering the value of community colleges as an excellent resource for achieving goals towards higher education, associate degrees, certificate programs, and workforce training. Bristol Community College is one of those community colleges, and here to talk to us today is Laura Douglas, President of BCC, and Rodney Clark, Attleboro Campus Dean. Welcome to you both.
Good morning, Marjorie.
It's so nice having both of you here, and Laura, you have now been president of BCC for how long?
For almost a year and a half.
So you're getting the lay of the land and meeting who you need to meet. And what was it that sparked your imagination of being president of Bristol Community College?
Great question. Well, you know, I was at a point in my career that I knew that I had wanted to fulfill my dream of becoming a community college president. And I had set that goal when I was about 35 years old. And in my last job, I really loved my job so much. I was provost of an urban campus in Des Moines, Iowa, loved my work. And what I thought was 5 years, you know, went to 10 years, and it was like, holy cow, you know, I still have my dream, and this is a great time for me and my family to move back east. And I started a very deliberate approach of looking at the community colleges in the area. And when this presidency opened up, I was really thrilled for a number of reasons. One, I really like multi-campus organizations. And here at Bristol Community College, we have 4 distinct campuses, one in Attleboro, one in Taunton, one in Fall River, and one in New Bedford, as well as an off-campus site in Fall River for our workforce development. And I really love the opportunity to have multiple campuses, to really be able to kind of get entrenched in each of our individual communities and to do a very good job of customizing what we do for each of those communities. So that was one thing. It was like, wow, that's great. The other thing that was really important to me when I started to dig in was my connection to family. My great-grandparents on my mother's side immigrated from Ireland in the late 1800s to Fall River.
Oh, okay.
And my grandfather repaired cotton looms, and my grandmother, after her childbearing years, worked those cotton looms. And my grandfather was the first in his family to ever complete high school. My mother was the first in her family to complete college. And for me, the opportunity to give back to the community that welcomed my family, enabled them to be successful, to have jobs, to get educated, really felt like a wonderful personal connection for me. And once I met the people at Bristol Community College through my interview process, the faculty, the staff, the board of trustees, I knew that it was my home. It was meant to be. You have an instant feeling when you meet the people of an organization as to whether it's going to be a good fit, and it was really a great fit. The opportunity to take this wonderful institution, which President Jack Sprague was leading for 17 years, to then have the privilege to take that on and take it to the next level was something else that I was extremely excited about. And I'm still excited today. I wake up every morning with such passion and such energy to go out and to serve our communities.
Wow, it's amazing how life happens, and the cycle of it, and that you can come back and do that. Now, as far as the Attleboro campus, have you seen any changes that the new president may have made that affect you?
Well, one of the great things for President Douglas, you know, being at the helm of the institution, has been really giving each of the locations the freedom to really define who and what they are in serving the needs of the local community. And I remember very early on meeting President Douglas had come out to the Attleboro campus, and it talked a lot about the importance of us having something that really defines what we are in Attleboro. And so trying to come up with signature items that are specific to the needs of the community. President Douglas has really supported that, and that's really been a great asset to us to be able to have that freedom to do the kinds of things that resonate that much more powerfully in that community. So that's really been great having her as leader of our institution at this time, because given not just me, but for the staff who work alongside me, the ability to think creatively about what is it that really meets the needs of Attleboro, which may be different a little bit from Taunton or New Bedford or Fall River. What is it about the greater Attleboro area that we can do to make education attractive to people and to make it that much more worthwhile for them to, pursue their career goals?
One of the ways, and that's been displayed in Attleboro, is with a focus on STEM. Yes. With the proximity to Sensata, Rodney and his team have worked to create much stronger relationships between the Attleboro public school system and Bristol Community College, as well as Sensata. Maybe you can share a little bit about the first STEM family night at the Attleboro campus, because that was absolutely an amazing event.
Well, one of the things that we wanted to do is to recognize there's already strong interest in the STEM career fields, in the Attleboro area amongst the students. I noticed that seemingly half of the admission counseling appointments were focused on how to get to a STEM career. Whether it's in health sciences or in technology, whatever it might be, how to get there. So we thought that by having a STEM career family night, that would be the type of forum that could attract people to learn more about those careers, but at the same time, not just from college admissions and academic advisors, but also to learn a little bit about what it's like to work in those fields. So we had employers lined up as well, so a panel kind of a discussion. And that's really worked well for us. It's really been something that people speak kindly and certainly persuasively about, and they really enjoy it. So we're looking to follow that up, next year at the same kind of a deal, where we want to be able to have these kinds of discussions, because people are trying to explore. They're trying to figure out, well, all right, I think that I want the STEM career, but what does that really entail? One of the things that I've often have told students over the years is that, of course, you want to make sure that your financial obligations are met and that you're getting paid a salary that's decent, not just for you, but also for your family, but really to work in the kind of field that something that is really exciting to you, something that you really enjoy. So that's why we're really, glad to be a part of that exploration and discovery process for our students, how to figure out what makes the most sense for them, and really believe that exploring more deeply what the STEM career opportunities are that are there is a great way to do it. And our partnership with Sensata Technology is one such example of that.
What's exciting, I believe, about community colleges is that you can have those partnerships and you can give people the opportunity to explore. Right. When you're going to a four-year college, you're a little bit worried, am I making the right decision? Am I going to be able to find a job? Am I going to like this? Am I going to this? But I think community colleges and what I know of, the Attleboro campus gives people that opportunity, which is really quite exciting, And it gives you a culture of learning, which I think you said that you wanted to try to explore that and grow that.
Yes, absolutely. One of the things, if you look to the future and you think, well, what do you really want left behind when you leave a place? I really want my legacy to be about creating a college-going culture. In Bristol County and some surrounding areas, we still have quite low educational attainment rates. We look to Boston and places like that where we have very highly educated people. Massachusetts, over 50% of our adults have a college education, but that's not the way it is in some of our communities here and throughout Bristol County. And so we need to change that. there is a real need for our families, and the reason we had STEM Family Night was because the family is important. We need to change family ideas about going to college. We have a lot of very talented adults who did not go to college but have had successful careers in a number of different things. However, their children don't have that same opportunity. A high school diploma is no longer enough. By 2020, 72% of all jobs in Massachusetts will require more than a high school degree. So even though we have parents saying, well, a high school diploma was enough for me and I did fine, that's not true for the children. And so we're really working hard with families to understand that having that additional education is going to be so important to their well-being, to their happiness, to their ability to have a family and own a home and a boat, if that's what you want, to be able to have those things that you really, really want. So the community college is a wonderful pathway, and not everyone needs a 4-year degree to get a great job. In fact, what we see in many job categories is that many jobs that require the 2-year degree are very high wage jobs. So there's a lot of opportunity with 2 years of college after high school.
Which is, I think, really important because not everybody is academically inclined, but they can be very passionate about something that they want to do, but they don't know how to go about it, you know, or they don't have the credentials that they need to get in the door.
Yeah.
And I think that's what BCC can give to so many people.
Yeah, and a lot of times it's also about the confidence. You know, we have so many students who will come to BCC, and you see this all the time, Rodney.
Sure.
They come through the door and they think, okay, well, I just want to take a few classes. And then they recognize that they really like to learn. They're great students, and they think, wow, I can do this. I really do need to work on my college degree. And they'll finish at Bristol Community College, and they'll transfer to great places like Bridgewater State or UMass Dartmouth or some of our private institutions. And it really is a life-changing moment because, you know, they weren't really in any way shaped to think about their skills academically. So it can be a real awakening in a human being to have the community college experience. And it's affordable too.
And that's the wonderful thing, that it is affordable, that you don't leave with thousands and thousands of dollars of debt behind you, you know. And I think now you have partnerships or internships with community, with manufacturers or people in the community that you're training for jobs, is that correct?
Yeah, do you want to talk about some of the partnerships, schools or employers in the Attleboro area?
Well, one of the things that's been great is that, and this is what you were addressing, is that there are students who come through our doors and they're thinking about a particular career, but they're not exactly sure. And so by participating in some kind of a co-op program that the college has, an internship, a student is learning real-time experience at that work site while they're in school. And the students are unbelievably motivated because they want to learn the craft, realizing that by performing well in the classroom, I mean actually at the work site as well as in the classroom, that can translate into permanent employment at that location down the road. So we have some wonderful opportunities for students to work in different business sectors or social services, healthcare, engineering, whatever it might be. We've even had some students who worked in elected official offices as some kind of an internship as well. So it's really some great opportunities that the college has, you know, for students to come our way. And it's great. It's really great because we want to do more than simply train them in the classroom. Of course, that's what we want to do to start. But we're also trying to put them in the right position to be able to apply their craft, their interests, their goals, their dreams in some kind of a work setting.
To be successful.
Yes.
And to feel good about yourself and what you're doing.
Yeah, that confidence thing is really important to our young people as well as our adults too. And we have at Attleboro some very strong partnerships with our local schools. We had a student this past spring. She graduated with her college degree, her associate's degree from Bristol Community College, before she graduated in June with her high school diploma. And that's another great way, through these partnerships, we call them dual enrollment partnerships, for students to get a taste of college and earn college credit even before they graduate, which really reduces the amount of time they need to be at a 2 or 4 year college to complete their degree, and that's a huge savings when it comes to tuition. And we're really, really passionate about making sure that our students do not assume a high burden of college debt. That's just not what you're going to do in a community college, and that's important to families, especially when you have multiple children that are going to be going through college. You know, those tuition rates of $50,000 a year for a private institution. You know, if you have 3 kids times 3, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But those students can still graduate from their desired institution even when they get their start at the community college. So it reduces their seat time, but it also, they end up with the same degree.
Absolutely.
It's a bargain.
A young woman that I know graduated with my daughter from Mansfield really did not see herself in college, you know, but she had very low esteem as far as I'm just not going to be able to do it. So I talked to her parents about BCC. I said,
There we go.
get her in there, at least talk, you know. She ended up going, liking it, went for 2 years, was thrilled with what she was doing, and ended up going to a 4-year college after her 2 years and doing very, very well.
Excellent.
And enjoying it. And it changed her perspective about herself and what she could do and her abilities later on, you know, as far as her employment was concerned.
We don't like to give up on anybody, do we, Rodney?
There we go. There we go. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Now, you still have the partnership with Bridgewater where they give classes.
Yeah, you want to talk about that? Because we share a location, actually.
Well, at the Attleboro campus location, most of the Bristol Community College coursework is on the first floor, but on the second floor of the building, that's where Bridgewater State University holds their courses. And we have a real nice partnership with them. It's referred to as BCC to BSU, where students can complete the 2-year associate degree essentially on the first floor and then go upstairs to do their final 2 years to complete their bachelor's degree. It's a wonderful partnership, whether they do the coursework in Attleboro or if they want to go to the main campus for Bridgewater at the Bridgewater State University location. And that's fine as well, because one of the nice things is that, about all of that is that we have transfer counselors to really help students to clearly guide the process of leveraging the coursework that they've done at Bristol and have it apply at Bridgewater in this case. And it's nice because what happens is the students can start at Bridgewater as a junior. So they've done their 2 years worth of work at Bristol, they can apply it at Bridgewater, they just simply need to do 2 more years to finish their bachelor's degree, and it's just a wonderful opportunity for them. And it's just incredible to think about the cost savings for doing it that way.
Oh, absolutely. And you have, especially there's travel time that is worked into there, and like some people are working in order to be able to have their college education and to be able to balance, you know, I've got to work here, but I'm not going to be able to make it and whatever, and they might fall through the cracks, you know, but it seems like it's a great, you know, partnership. Now, you partner, as you were mentioning, like with businesses in the area, and you evaluate the needs of the businesses and then help fill their needs with your students?
Yes. So we've got a number of different types of relationships with business and industry. So one of the things that I like to share with people is that we go into a number of corporations and we help identify their training needs. And then what we do is we support them on the writing of a proposal. And that is then submitted to Commonwealth Corporation, which is a quasi-governmental agency in Massachusetts. And then the Commonwealth Corporation evaluates that and then awards dollars for training. So for example, it's not unusual for a company in our area to get $250,000 for a multi-year training plan to make sure that those employees are upgraded in their skill level. So you know, we're always working with a number of companies. It might be with biotechnology, clean room technology. It could even be with a bank. Recently we did training for Bay Coast Bank, and it was essentially leadership training. And so, you know, most people say, oh, are we learning about banking and that kind of thing? No, we're helping people develop leadership skills. So whatever those needs are, we will work with those companies to really determine a path and to make sure that these corporations stay vibrant and competitive. And that's really important to the people of our area, because that's the way we maintain jobs and grow jobs. And then on the other side, yes, we are working to find internships for individuals. A number of our students, through their actual training programs, must find internships. So we work very closely to make sure that the students have on-the-job training. Certainly all of our healthcare students are in our local hospitals, learning to be nurses, phlebotomists, occupational therapists, but a number of our students in business, criminal justice, etc., are equally working in a number of our local companies.
That's amazing. And you mentioned that you had counselors.
I do.
And I think that is so important, because navigating this can be daunting. You know, you think, I don't know anything about this, you know. So counselors are available.
Well, it's true, Marjorie, because what happens is there are students who enter our building and they're not always sure what questions to ask. If they're a first-generation college student, they may not know exactly what they don't know. So they may not be able to be clear about knowing how to articulate some of those concerns. So having these professional counselors and admissions and advising and financial aid and some of the other subject areas work closely with students to make sure that they're clear about what their objectives might be and how to reach them. Sometimes their students, depending upon their work and family obligations and their time commitments, they may do, you know, most of their coursework in a face-to-face environment, but a growing segment within the institution is online instruction. There are students who never step forward into the building, but they're completing their coursework electronically, and that really works well, you know, for students to be able to accomplish things that way also.
Many of our students are adult students. In fact, our average age is in the upper 20s. And so with a strong economy, our students want to work. And many of them are also juggling family responsibilities. So online courses or hybrid courses, which are reduced seat time, maybe you're meeting every other week, really help to provide them with an opportunity to balance all that they are, you know, managing. It's a great opportunity.
Absolutely.
So they can still keep on track with their college degrees.
Which is, it's a wonderful opportunity. And these communities have a lot of different ethnic backgrounds. And so you're blending many people together. Some people, English may not be their first language. So how do you deal with students in that capacity?
Well, that's one of the things that we're trying to go deeper with and explore even much more intently, and that is this matter of providing English as a second language instruction, working with community agencies that provide some of those services, and trying to figure out how Bristol can bridge the gap for them academically to build upon the foundation they've learned in some kind of a literacy center type of institution, and to augment that instruction with higher level English as a second language, you know, coursework for people. So that way they can, you know, move on academically to pursue their career goals in, whether it's in business or the STEM field or criminal justice, whatever it might be. But often we find that they have to secure that English as a second language instruction first before they're able to progress on academically in some of these other career goals.
Yeah. So the support we give is really multi-level. So someone may come in the door, and for example, in Attleboro, I heard recently that we have a population of about 10,000 Egyptians. We have a very growing African population in our region, not just in Attleboro. And so they may come through the door with limited English, and we get them started on some of the, the basic English, or we also have some partnerships with some other agencies that will deliver that if we don't do it ourselves. But we call that the non-credit English. And they work their way up. And then when they are ready to transition to college level classes, we give them a college level course in English as a second language to help them refine their skills. So when you think about the importance of reading comprehension, all of a sudden you've got a college textbook in front of you. That's a little bit different than an ESL textbook that maybe is talking about, what do you do when you visit the doctor.
Right.
This is, a lot of technical terminology, etc. So we have those different courses to help support those students as they prepare for college level courses. And many of the students in our communities who are coming in as English as a second language students, they come with the goal to go to college. Many of them are just really determined after, maybe not having access in their home country to be able to come here and to be able to become college educated. And we want to support them in that venture.
And to be able to do that. And for so many people, the dream of coming to this country, they have an idea of what it is and what they want. And for a college to be able to give them the tools that they need to accomplish that without, again, paying thousands and thousands of dollars, which they don't have at this point. It seems like just a wonderful opportunity, There are many, as you said, like cultural differences. And how do you blend that into a college community?
Sure. Well, I will tell you that diversity is so very important to us, and we work very hard to provide an inclusive environment. And so with that comes a lot of education, Marjorie. So we're always educating our faculty and staff about how we can work best with various groups. We have a lot of clubs and organizations that provide support to different types of students who might want that type of support, and those also serve as great tools to help with the assimilation into a college culture as well as into our wider American culture. And we're always training our faculty and staff as well as our students as to what it means to be inclusive. And I think we uphold that vision as well as anyone in the way we talk the talk, walk the walk, in our communications to our community, the way we represent ourselves in the community, and the way we hire our staff and faculty, and the way we are always focused on trying to make sure that every group within our college community is meeting the goals of success. So, one of our very primary goals, for example, in Massachusetts, it's not just a Bristol Community College goal, but a goal for all of our public institutions of higher education, is to close the achievement gap, so that we do have some gaps between some of our underrepresented groups. Groups, when I say underrepresented, means unrepresented at college. And so we really reach out and try to make sure that we are providing the right supports to those students to be able to move the needle and to close that gap between all students. We want all of our students to be performing very well. But I would say that in many ways at Bristol Community College, it's very magical. Students come to the college, I think, wanting that diversity. Many of our students tell us that. I'm here because I can be surrounded by many people that are like me, but also people that are very different from me. And when I walked onto other college campuses in the region, I didn't feel as comfortable or as as much as a home. And I think that really speaks volumes for Bristol Community College and what our faculty and staff are doing every day. They're absolutely terrific.
I know the several times that I've been to the Attleboro campus, for one thing or another, I walked through the halls, and there was an energy there. It was palpable, you know, and I thought, this is great. You know, if I was going to do it all over again, you know, I would go to you know, to Bristol Community College, you know, because it just seemed like an exciting place with so many opportunities. And I think you have brought several students here that talked to us before, and they seemed to really reflect that.
Well, one of the things that we really tried to do is we really tried to establish a culture of civility, you know, in the hallways, in the classrooms, in the parking lot, in the offices, that we're able to really respect and dignify the backgrounds of all the kinds of students who come our way, whether it's based upon their race or ethnicity, their gender, their age, whatever it might be. We're trying to be able to have an atmosphere that it doesn't matter what you are. You know, we're just trying to be respectful and peaceful, and we're all trying to march toward the same direction. And how we can do that collaboratively, that's the best way to do it. But it begins with having mutual respect for the differences that people may come to the class with, come to the college with. How do we do that? And I think that's what really speaks to the kind of energy that you and others have felt when they come through, because people feel valued when they come to the institution. And that's something that's really important to us.
And how important that is for people to feel valued and that their ideas are valued. It can mean all the difference in the world. You know? Going forward, what are the goals for yourself as you continue on in your presidency?
Yes, well, as I mentioned earlier, working on that college-going culture is extremely important. So it's not just leading an institution of higher education, it's really leading the community with all the other stakeholders in elevating the notion of going to college. So, you know, we're working on a number of different projects, and I serve on the Education Committee in Fall River. It's on our Chamber of Commerce. And we're now ready to go out and talk to other chambers about how we can further some of that work. And so some of the things that we're doing, we're creating nights for, or Saturdays for parents of middle school students to come to the campus, where the students can explore careers, because a lot of students don't have, and parents, they don't know what careers are available because they're changing so rapidly with technology. So giving them an opportunity to do some hands-on learning in our, you know, in a clean room or in our water center or with cybersecurity or with any of those things, so they can get a sense of what some of these careers are that really earn great money, by the way. That's important. And at the same time, then working with the families, the parents, and saying, okay, it's your turn too. You know, you can come back to school, you can reinvent yourself as well as you prepare for the future, and this is how we can help you to do that. So we're doing some of that. We also started our first college signing day that we want to replicate in other communities, where every student, every senior in high school that's going on to college, we have actually a program, and the presidents come out, myself, Fred Clark from Bridgewater State University, Robert Johnson from UMass Dartmouth. We give away a t-shirt to every single student for the school that they're going, and really celebrate the notion that they're going to college. It's little things like that that we're trying to grow to help people understand how important it is to go to college. And while certainly I, as president of Bristol Community College, I will say, yes, come to Bristol Community College. I want you to come to Bristol Community College. The truth is, I just really want you to go to college. And we all unite, Fred, Robert, myself, in that message, which is, let's get to college. Let's do this. You know, this is how you prepare yourself for the next chapter of life.
Sounds exciting. Both of you. You know, as Laura takes the lead, and the deans at each school, take that vision and work it into their own community. Exciting times.
Absolutely.
Very exciting.
Thank you both for being here. Really appreciate it, and I hope that you will come back and we'll continue the conversation as to all the things that Bristol community can offer to students and the community.
Thank you,
My pleasure.
Marjorie.
Thank you.
And thank you for joining us today. And I hope you'll join us next time on The Learning Curve.